I never expected betrayal to come with flowers. It was a Thursday afternoon when everything changed. I was supposed to meet a client at a downtown restaurant, some trendy fusion place that always smelled like basil and hardwood. I showed up early like I always do, and as I waited by the hostess stand, I scanned the tables out of habit. That's when I saw her. Rachel, hair curled just right, wearing a white dress I hadn't seen in months, the one that hugged her hips too perfectly for a business meeting. She was sitting at a small corner table, laughing. Across from her sat a man, tall, tan, with some Wall Street haircut. In the center of the table was a fresh bouquet of red tulips. Her favorite. Not mine. Not for me. Something in me snapped. I didn't think. I didn't blink. I just walked straight toward them like I was possessed. She didn't see me at first, not until I was standing at the edge of their intimate little moment. Her eyes widened, and her smile froze, caught halfway through a laugh. The guy looked up, confused. "David," she stammered, already pale. I didn't shout. I didn't need to. I looked at her, then at the flowers, then back at her and said, "It's over." 3 words. Cold. Surgical. I turned and walked out, leaving her and that stranger with their mouths open, a candle flickering between them like it still believed in love. I got in my car, slammed the door, and sat there shaking. My heart was racing so fast, I thought I might pass out. I stared at the restaurant's glass facade, wondering if she'd come running after me. She didn't. She stayed inside, probably explaining to him how I was just overreacting, how things had been complicated for a while. I drove home in a haze, my knuckles white on the steering wheel. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just kept seeing her face, the way her expression shifted from surprise to calculation. That was what stayed with me. Not guilt, not sorrow. Strategy. She wasn't sorry I caught her. She was just trying to figure out how much I knew. The house was dark when I got there. I didn't turn on the lights. I poured myself a drink, straight bourbon, no ice, and sat in the living room with nothing but the glow of the kitchen light behind me. My hands trembled as I clutched the glass. The silence was oppressive. This was supposed to be our home, a space filled with comfort, trust, history. Instead, it felt like a crime scene. Every photo on the wall was a lie. Every shared memory had a new crack running through it. I thought about all the nights she told me she was working late, meeting a client. How many times had I sat on that couch waiting for her while she was in someone else's arms? She came home 3 hours later, keys jingling softly like she didn't want to wake a sleeping husband. I heard her heels on the hardwood, the hesitation in her steps when she turned the corner and saw me sitting there. She froze. "David, I can explain," she started, her voice soft, cautious, like I was a bomb she needed to disarm. I didn't answer, just looked at her. That silence must have said more than anything I could have shouted. She came closer. "It's not what you think," she tried. And that's when I laughed, a hollow, bitter sound I didn't recognize as my own. "You met him with flowers, Rachel. You wore white. It's exactly what I think." The argument didn't last long. She cried. I didn't. She blamed stress, distance, her job, my job, the weather, anything but herself. I asked her how long it had been going on. She didn't answer. That told me everything. I told her to leave. She didn't, not right away. She slept in the guest room. The next morning, she texted me from the hallway. "Can we talk?" I didn't reply. Instead, I opened my laptop and began doing what she never thought I would. I started digging. Every app, every email, every backup cloud I could access. I didn't care if it was petty. I needed to know. And what I found: photos, messages, hotel confirmations, voice notes, Google Maps history. She hadn't just cheated. She had built an entirely separate relationship behind my back. Trips I thought were business were weekend getaways. Nights she was working late were reservations under fake names. I didn't confront her again. Not yet. I let her think I was processing, healing. I went to work. I ate dinner in silence. I even smiled once or twice. She started trying harder, cooking my favorite meals, offering to watch my shows, asking if I wanted to talk. I nodded, told her I needed space. She mistook my quiet for forgiveness. That was her mistake. I wasn't forgiving her. I was documenting her. I created folders, timelines, backed up every shred of evidence onto drives I kept locked in my car. Rachel thought she was winning again. That was the part that fascinated me. How quickly cheaters slip back into their rhythm, like consequences were just a brief interruption in the melody of their lies. Then I got a tip, not from a friend, but from fate. One of Rachel's girlfriends, Lydia, messaged me out of nowhere. Said she wasn't comfortable anymore. Said she saw Rachel at a hotel bar last weekend, and it wasn't for business. I played dumb. Oh, you sure it was her? She sent me a photo. It was Rachel. Hand on Kyle's knee, drink in the other hand. That same white dress. I thanked Lydia, told her it was probably just a misunderstanding, and promised I wouldn't say anything. She believed me. I waited 3 days. Watched Rachel put on her best performance. Then that Friday, I told her I was going on a fishing trip with my brother. Packed a bag. Left at 7 a.m. She kissed me at the door. Be safe, she said. I drove around the block and parked 2 streets down. Waited. She left the house at 9:40 a.m., dressed to kill. I followed her. Kyle had booked an Airbnb, a cute little bungalow with a swing out front. I parked where she couldn't see me and waited another 20 minutes before approaching. I didn't knock. I didn't call. I used the spare key I had stolen from her keychain months ago. I opened the door silently and stepped inside. They were in the kitchen, drinking coffee, laughing. She was barefoot, leaning against the counter like she belonged there. He had one hand on her waist, the other holding a mug. She looked up and saw me first. The sound she made wasn't a scream. It was more like a gasp that didn't finish. He turned confused and panicked. I didn't speak. I took my phone out of my pocket and pressed play. Her voice filled the room. You're the only man who really knows me, Kyle. Then another. David is dull. Safe. I need more. Then a photo, a still from our bedroom camera. She dropped the mug. It shattered. Kyle backed away, hands raised. I turned to him and said just one thing. Your wife already knows. His face dropped. What? He whispered. But I was already walking out. By the time Rachel got home that night, the house was empty. Her clothes were in garbage bags on the porch. My wedding ring sat in a bowl by the door. A letter on the table with just 2 words. We're done. She tried calling. I never answered. Kyle's wife left him. Rachel tried to see him again, but he ghosted her. She bet everything on a man who was just using her to escape his own reality. Now she was alone. No one to run to. No one to lie to. It didn't end with a bang. It ended with a long, slow decay.